The Good Life by Malia Hutchins and Elizabeth Rousseau. Imagine if you lived your life just entirely by doing what makes you the happiest. For example, eating all your favorite foods, buying everything you want, and relaxing anytime you want. Would this automatically mean you've lived a good life? Many people think that happiness is what makes up the good life and what defines a good life. But many philosophers have debated and disagreed about what actually makes up the good life. Some people believe that becoming virtuous will lead to your fulfillment and therefore a good life, while others believe that increasing the happiness of others will therefore increase your happiness, leading to the good life. Throughout this speech, I will introduce Aristotelianism and utilitarianism, two concepts of the good life, and we will examine which one is the most fulfilling. Understanding these views help us better understand what people mean when they discuss the good life. So the first idea we're going to review today is Aristotelianism. Now, the Aristotelian believes that to have a good life, you have to be a good person. Now, they would describe being a good person as being generous, healthy, loving, kind, friendly, hardworking, have integrity, and being wise. Now, a very important part of that is eudaimonia. The Aristotelian believes in happiness, the pursuit of happiness by being a good person. But eudaimonia is different than just happiness. It's happiness, but through an action. So it is the idea that instead of happiness just being an emotion that happens to you, it is something consistent that you're pursuing your whole life. So they believe that you are happy when you are a good person, and being virtuous makes you happy. So therefore, the happy life equals the good life. Like Aristotle said, everyone wants happiness because it's obvious no one wants a miserable life. So it is clear that the good life, or the reason of we're pursuing the good life, is we're pursuing happiness. Now, a very important part of Aristotelianism is life's goods. So these are health, friendship, love, knowledge, leisure, moral action, generosity, and vocation. Now, these are the things that make up life and make conditions possible to be virtuous and develop virtue. So therefore, chase eudaimonia and be a good person. So life's goods are kind of just what sets you up for success in Aristotelianism. Now, being virtuous is about making life's goods who you are, making them your personality, and instead of just being something you chase, being who you are. So, in conclusion for Aristotelianism, it is being a good person equals a good life, and you always want to chase being a virtuous, good person to therefore have your good life. Now, the second idea that we're going to review today is utilitarianism, and this follows the principle of utility. That states that you want to maximize happiness for the greatest overall good. Now, the idea of this is that morality is based on consequences, whether those consequences be good or bad. They affect the people around you and affect you. So Jeremy Bentham, a philosopher, sums this up pretty well. And he says that moral decisions should be guided by the amount of happiness you can bless other people with. Now, a very important part of utilitarianism is the idea of hedonism. And this is the pursuit of happiness. It says that pain is bad and increased pleasure is good. And to take it a step further, utilitarians believe in altruistic hedonism. So this is hedonism, but for the most possible people you can. So it says 2 to 3 happy people are better than one happy person. So you should take it upon yourself to be that person that causes the greatest happiness for others. And they, not just people, but also they believe in you should increase the happiness for all agents too. Now, they define agents as anyone that can feel pleasure, anything that can feel pleasure. So this would include animals too. So they also think that when you're making decisions, those decisions should not just be guided on how it affects people and how much happiness you can spread to the people in your community, but also to the animals around you as well. So in conclusion, for utilitarianism, when making moral choices, you need to think ahead and think of all of the opportunities and consequences that will be affecting the people around you and how much happiness you can bless them with. As opposed to Aristotelianism, focused on character, this one is focused on the amount of happiness you can give the world and bless the world with, because they believe that the more happiness is in the world, the better the world is. So it is your job to make the world a better place. So you want to have the goal of this all is you want to have the most happiness for the greatest number of agents, and that is morally correct. When making the choice between Aristotelianism and utilitarianism, it is important to consider these moral considerations. So, Aristotelianism believes that the ultimate goal of life is happiness through being a good person, which leads to fulfillment in your life. But this does require life goods such as health, wealth, love, and friendship, which some do not have. Now, utilitarianism follows the principle of utility, and this states that you want to provide the greatest amount of happiness to as many agents as you can. And while this is a great idea, it does, in theory, it can lead to lots of self-sacrifice by the person that is following utilitarianism and trying to provide all this happiness. Now, both of these ideas have views on pleasure and its value, and if it's the only value in life. Now, Aristotelianism says that pleasure is not the only value in life, and happiness is the only thing that's really going to make your life fulfilling. Now, it does say that pleasure is a natural part of life and it's beautiful and good, but it is not the goal of your life. Now, utilitarianism thinks that pleasure and pain are the only things in life with intrinsic value. And things that are valuable to us, like friendship and money, they're only valuable because they bring pleasure to people. In conclusion, the different views of Aristotelianism and utilitarianism provide different perspectives on how one should live their life and how one gets fulfillment out of life. Now, first, Aristotelianism, the good life for them is being a good person, which leads to happiness, which leads to fulfillment, which therefore is the good life for them. Now, there are 3 components to this, which is eudaimonia, life's goods, and virtue. Eudaimonia is happiness, but it is through action. So that would be the action of becoming a good person, like depicted in this image. Now, next is life's goods, and those are the conditions which allow a person to better develop their virtues, and virtues are what makes you a good person. Now, the characteristics. Now, it is very important not to just know what these virtues are, but to actually make them your personality and make them who you are, so you can strive to be a better person every day. So next, utilitarianism. They follow the principle of utility, and that is just the idea that you want to increase the amount of happiness for the greatest number of agents that you possibly can. And they follow hedonism, which is the pursuit of happiness, and specifically altruistic hedonism, which is the pursuit of happiness for the most people you can. Making the decision on whether Aristotelianism or utilitarianism is the best choice for you, it really depends on where you find your fulfillment in life. So, decision is up to you. Good luck.